got the whole world
Damn right I do.
in his hands. He's got the whole wide world
In me hands.
in his hands.
Yeah, he does watch TV.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Bum, bum. Yeah. And welcome back to another episode of Minutes of Truth. I am your number one host on this show. Got a couple news stories to go over, and we're gonna go over a movie. Hope y'all are ready for some movie time because, well, fuck it. Movie's about an hour and a half long, and then I got two segments that are about 30 minutes long each, all about the future of humanity. What it could be, what it is, what we don't want. But before we get any of that, let's hear about some demons. Demons, guys. Get him, Bryce.
Let's get it. Guess who it is? Mr. Make 'em Mad, Mr. J6, Mr. Tellin' Tifa, come and get it. I got extra clips, hands of 10. They want me to fall off like the president while getting on the plane, but I'm flyer than he ever been. That's irrelevant. Wait, this is how it goes down. Tell the mentally ill, only God can choose your pronouns. Yes, I'm homophobic now. What? Let it go now. Liberty, guns, Bible, truth, the only LGBT. I call Elton John gay, they ban me for a mean tweet. In these streets, we need 1 million patriots in DC. March for God, but for now I'm slaying demons on these beats. Even conservative orcs hate me cause I can't be controlled. I could be a millionaire, but never sold my soul. These soft Christians couldn't walk a mile on these Yeezy souls. Every time they see me round the wicked, they say, here he goes, crazy. Go crazy.
Go crazy too.
They say Bryson going crazy. Every time they see me round the wicked, they say Bryson going crazy. Go crazy. He going crazy.
Been crazy.
Zelensky in the White House, he's just coming to meet his donors. President Joe Biden's oldest son is a heavy stoner. Calling him a president, though, may be a misnomer. The CIA, the reason that JFK is a goner. I'm saying what everybody thinks, I do it out loud. United States of America is ran by pedophiles. They thought it was just a theory into the Epstein trials. I mean, why you think the government is trying to hide the files? We surrounded by wickedness, they corrupting the innocent. You distracted by idiots, they exploiting your ignorance. They don't do it at one time. It's way more insidious. We argue over frivolous things while they all just cripple us. Meanwhile, they having drag shows at your kids' schools. Now teenagers think that being a different gender is cool. Indoctrination. We told y'all about that slippery slope. Y'all hate that conversation. I mean, y'all do. Nowadays, if a transgender pit on MAGA, they all cheer. Wait, I'm not controversial, y'all just became gay and weird. Please don't call me cisgender, I'm just normal, and I refuse to compromise with people that are immoral. Y'all letting Satan confuse you, and then we enter the portal. We'll actually talk about someone's gender becomes a quarrel. Republicans voted to lift out marriage, so I assure you that they hellbound. It ain't hard to tell now, so just maybe I convict your spirit, and that's really why you hate me. I know you hate to hear it, but it really doesn't faze me, cause when it comes to the one that made me, I bet I go crazy.
We all go a little crazy.
Go crazy. They say Bryson going crazy. Every time they see me round the wicked, they say Bryson going.
Yeah, we're going crazy. I'm going crazy. You're going crazy. So I got two articles that came up in my feed last night, and they're kind of fucking disturbing. This one's from Utah, where a man repeatedly raped a special needs, his stepdaughter. Well, it doesn't really end well, but it does. It's kind of fucking weird. So let's get to the story.
Well, after nanny cameras captured a Utah man
What's up,
repeatedly
Noid?
raping his severely disabled stepdaughter, we've uncovered a little bit more about his past.
Awful story here. We told you about 52-year-old Brian Urban. He was convicted here in Utah for 5 counts of rape and forcible sexual abuse. He was sentenced to the maximum Utah law allows. Ashley Vigil died not long before he was actually sentenced.
Now, our Amanda Gilbert live after talking to her family and also supporters. Amanda?
I was the only reporter there as dozens gathered outside the West Jordan 3rd District Court. And they say now that Ashley is gone, they will continue to be her voice.
Brian, right now you are under arrest.
Long before he ended up here, Brian Kenneth Urban entered Paula Vigil's life in 2014.
When I first met Brian, he seemed like a superhero. I told him my life is doctor's appointments and surgeries.
Paula was taking care of her daughter Ashley, who had a rare genetic disorder known as Rett syndrome.
And they said there's very little likelihood that she will see her 11th birthday.
But Ashley made it to 31 while safe at home.
Together, we could be anything. She could be anything. Separate us.
When Ashley's seizures grew worse and she was losing weight, Paula installed nanny cams while working with her doctors to figure out what was happening.
And what I found was footage of him raping her.
Video after video, only a few watched in court, too graphic for TV, showed Urban undressing, moving, and then raping Ashley.
Face the door. Face the door for us.
He was arrested right after Paula made this discovery. In court, he'd eventually blame high levels of testosterone, steroids, and medication for his actions.
My testosterone levels were elevated extremely.
So let me hear this right. He wants to blame it on testosterone and steroids. Well, dude, I have high testosterone. For my age, I have a very high testosterone level, but I don't go and do that. But you also took steroids, which is kind of weird because steroids, pretty sure they make your dick small and it doesn't get a hard on. But you know, whatever, dude.
High in a short amount of time. I was in a dreamlike state where reality felt like a dream.
But as he spoke in front of a packed courtroom, the most important seat was empty. Ashley Vigil died in March, about 2 weeks before Urban's sentencing.
I was angry before, and when she died, I'm so angry now that I don't.
What are we trying to do?
But her story has been heard.
Justice for Ashley! Justice for Ashley! Justice for Ashley! Justice for Ashley!
So much so one family drove from Montana to join this rally.
Paula reached out to me.
Paula says that family, that's the beginning of this story.
This story didn't begin here. It ends here.
All right, from one disturbing to the next. This one is in
late last
California.
year, we spotted
I
the
guess it's a cold case, which I don't know why it keeps coming up in my timeline. These stories that I guess the media, mainstream media, doesn't really push out unless at the local level. But they're crimes that are fucking just disgusting. And they don't want to report on it. Interesting. So let's see what they have to say about this one. California cold case.
FBI digging around in western Fresno County. Fox 26 News later learned that this was linked to a decades-old cold case involving the deaths of 5 babies.
Reporter Sofia Lesios has been investigating the gruesome murders and is here to tell us why it took so long for law enforcement to make an arrest.
In this case, 5 infants were killed between 1992 and 2001. And to this day, not all of their bodies have been found. And detectives say their father is accused of killing them. Many questions have surrounded this case, but one seems to be at the forefront. If this is true, how did he get away with this for so long? We do want to warn you, the details of the story might be disturbing for some viewers. Here's what I found out.
Today, we are announcing charges against Paul Perez for the serial murder of 5 of his own children, all babies.
That was back in January 2020, 13 years after a fisherman pulled an infant's body out of a waterway just east of the city of Woodland, near Sacramento.
In my 40 years in law enforcement, I cannot think of a case more disturbing
Yolo
than
County.
this one.
That baby, found in 2007, was less than 6 months old. He was found in a plastic container made to withstand the elements. His body crushed by weight at the bottom of a slough.
As you can imagine, having an unsolved death of a child in our files has haunted my agency for years.
The Yolo County Sheriff's Office couldn't determine who that baby was or how it got there until October 2019.
The infant was identified through DNA as Nico V. Perez by a DNA comparison, and it was known that the baby boy was born on November 8th, 1996 in Fresno, California.
The discovery brought this cold case back to life.
The science and power of DNA has shown that monsters
and
killers cannot hide forever any longer.
The Yolo County Sheriff's Office also determined baby Nico had other siblings with the same fate. 5 of Paul Allen Perez's 6 children were murdered, all born between 1992 and 2001. Detectives say the kids were killed by means of lying in wait and through torture.
This case revealed unspeakable evil.
How did they not know the kids were missing? Did they not report it? I mean, I'm confused.
And these acts ignited a resolve in the hearts of all involved to bring justice to the vulnerable and innocent victims of this case.
Horrified. Unbelievable. I've been with parents of murdered children for 30 years, and I have heard many stories of murder and what happened and listened to many people cry. But this one is something I can't even understand. It's probably one of the worst ones I have ever heard of.
Many have questions.
Why wasn't this reported earlier, and why wasn't an investigation done from day one?
And where was the mother in all of this? According to documents from Yolo County Superior Court, Yolanda Perez is the mother of at least 4 of the babies killed. The Davis Enterprise reported Yolanda Perez was interviewed multiple times by detectives, and she confessed to witnessing the infant's abuse and disappearances, but she never reported it because she was scared.
You're so afraid of someone, so afraid that, if you tell on him, he's gonna hurt you, then she could have kept quiet for all those years.
Yolo County District Attorney.
Her being in fear, I could see, not saying that he could be connected to any certain type of criminal organization, but killing 5 kids in front of her, yeah, that's pretty fucking scary. Because he could use that. But then again, I can't see what was going on in her head, and a lot of people don't realize that. Just like domestic abuse violence, people always tell you, well, maybe you should have just left. And from a lot of people I hear, that's not quite so easy. And this might be one of those situations.
His office later charged Yolanda Perez with 4 counts of murder and child endangerment. She pled guilty to child endangerment in September 2022. She is not behind bars and is still waiting for her sentencing.
And I really do feel for the mother and what she's going to have to go through, in the next couple years to deal with this and to get this taken care of. I feel for the sister if she has to testify. That's very difficult to do.
According to testimonies, she and Paul Perez's other daughter, Brittany Perez, never spoke up. Criminal psychologist Dr. Eric Hickey actually focused on this case in one of his classes he taught at Fresno State. He says if Brittany and Yolanda kept quiet, Child Protective Services would have never known.
You can't blame CPS because they try to do their job, but if this couple kept moving from location to location, they wouldn't know what was going on. And until, fortunately, a fisherman found a body.
The real question is, could law enforcement have done anything earlier? Probably not.
Yeah, they wouldn't have known.
We continually review our cold cases with this being an especially open question mark that we want to bring closure to. You're as motivated as ever to solve this case.
I reached out to the Yolo County District Attorney's Office for additional information and documents pertaining to Paul Perez. In a letter, the Chief Deputy District Attorney said she would not give me any additional information about him and denied my interview request with the DA about the case because it's still an ongoing investigation.
Having 5 infants involved in this case, does that also give additional motivation to continue to want to close this case?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, every victim it matters to us, and every case matters to us. This one is particularly sensational. We want to ensure that justice is served, and we want to bring closure. and honor the lives of those infants that were taken needlessly.
Paul Allen Perez was already a convicted sex offender, and Dr.
Really?
Hickey says in his decades of studies, this could have played a part in the killings.
And here are these 5 little children, and because they found to have been tortured, that means that there had been some element of sadism involved, very likely. And as I mentioned to some law enforcement, I said, you should consider that this could be a sex crimes case. Most people, even murderers, generally don't go to this type of extent.
I hope they
so that tells me that this person's been fantasizing a great deal about doing harm to babies.
And in his professional opinion, Dr. Hickey doesn't believe mental illness ever played a part in the murders.
Sometimes people say he had to have been crazy to do this. He was not crazy. Crazy means mental illness. There was
evil.
Forethought, there was planning, there was a methodology, there was sadism. None of this speaks to mental illness, it speaks to evil.
If Paul Allen Perez is convicted, Dr. Hickey says one thing is clear. He never had an attachment to any of his own babies.
It kind of verifies to me that there is evil in this world. We all do wrong things, but this wasn't just wrong things or even a bad thing. This was horrifically horrible that came out of something that something in hell would do.
Paul Perez was arrested in the killings of 5 of his infant children on the same day of his prison release on unrelated charges.
Oh, shit.
Since Perez is facing a number of criminal enhancements, this case could be eligible for the death penalty.
Hell
But
yeah.
In 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a moratorium on capital punishment in the state. This means that while the death penalty is still technically on the books, no one is currently being put to death by the state of California. Sophia Lesios, Fox 26 News.
Probably because they don't have enough electricity because they're used for the EVs. Bro, this son of a bitch got out of jail and then the same day, boom, arrested again. Fucking crazy, man. That dude, 5 kids, at least 5 kids, because he said 4 of the kids were from the same mother and the one was from a different mother. So there might be many more, considering this has been happening since the 1996. Dudes like this just don't deserve to breathe air. They're literally wasting my oxygen. We should give them something better, like, I don't know, hydrochloric acid. I hear that's great for breathing. Have them drink a bottle. Just sit there and wait. Nothing will happen. I promise you. Anyway. So we're going to watch a movie today. And this movie is very, very relevant, I believe, to society today. It was made in 1956. And I think that's a couple years after the book 1984 came out. Let me double check before I lie to you. Where's the published date? Oh. Wait. Okay, the book came out in 1949. This came out 8 years later? Something like that? 7 years later? Don't matter. I'm not mathing too well, guys, so bear with me. I normally math better, but that last news segment kind of pissed me off. So let's move into the movie night. 1984. I believe it's got that dude that played the doctor in the original Halloween. I could be wrong, which is rare. But and after that, we got 2 news segments from Canada talking about none other than the reset. Please mute your cell phone. Thank you. There's no recording on the computer. It's not a computer screen. Yeah, you can record. Donald Pleasant, I was right. 30-year. Yeah. Credits. More credits. More credits. In case y'all are just listening, this is a story of the future, not the future of spaceships and men from other planets, but the immediate future. That's cute. Oh, yeah, this shows the Earth is round.
From the devastation wrought by the atomic raids of 1965, three great police states rose to divide the world: Oceania, Eurasia, and East Asia. Atomic weapons were abolished, but not war itself. For only by maintaining the strain and tension of continual conflict could the ruling parties enforce absolute power. London.
I've actually seen this picture when I was researching older civilizations, and it's almost like a piece of Atlantis, if you know the design of Atlantis.
Bomb-proof ministries became capital of Airstrip 1, a province of Oceania.
Oh, with the three governments, New America might be one.
Take cover, everybody. Take cover, everybody. Special bulletin from the Ministry of Peace. Eurasian rocket bombs are approaching London. Take cover. Take cover, everybody.
That's the state of fear. Did you guys get an all clear? No. All that rubble, none of the glass shattered.
Are you all right?
The sirens are still going off, bro. Maybe it's the water sirens.
Stand by for an important announcement. The Ministry of Peace is happy to report that thanks to the vigilance of our gallant interceptors, no Eurasian rocket bomb was able to reach targets of any importance. We continue.
Now you guys notice the more, if you haven't watched this yet, but the room they're going to show you, it's pretty similar to something I showed you yesterday.
With our regular broadcast.
Checking them for shit he shouldn't have. Oh, hey, Batmom. About time you showed up. You're not supposed to have that. I have this figured out. The reason Batmom was gone so long, she was probably in jail. I'm just saying. You've written in that book how long? You just now put 1984?
April 18th, 1984. Nobody keeps a diary today, because to do so would be punishable by death. I don't care anymore. I found this old book by chance, and I'm going to set down what I dare not say aloud to anyone. I've seen that girl again. I'm sure she was following me. Perhaps they suspect me already.
We interrupt this program for an important bulletin.
Uh-oh.
The saboteurs Lewis and Siegel were caught a few minutes ago in the neighborhood of Victory Square and have already confessed their guilt. As he was arrested, Lewis was heard to shout in a loud voice, "Long live Big Brother!"
For today, Carmen, because I wanted to show some other stuff with it for context. Text.
Up with your hands!
Uh-oh.
You're a traitor! You're a thought criminal! You're a Eurasian spy! I'll shoot you! I'll vaporize you! I'll send you to the uranium mine!
Quiet now, Sabina, quiet. You can't blame us for being excited enough. This is her even with the spies.
Traitor! Thought
Look at that,
criminal!
Michael Myers'
Take
doctor.
her there and then go and have a drink.
Why have you got this desk so far away from the telescreen? Supposed to be over there.
There's something in what she says, you know. She doesn't miss a thing.
I'll have to report you.
Nonsense, Selina, nonsense. Winston has nothing to hide. Have you, Winston? Oh, ready then?
Yes, I'm ready.
6748 Smith W. Regulation 6040. Outer party members will always wear identification badges when going in public places.
For your safety.
And Smith, don't forget again.
All right, I'm ready.
I'll have some gin.
Right.
I mean, what are they getting? At least they can smoke cigarettes back in the future.
Not here. Over there. Didn't you recognize them?
No.
Jones and Rutherford.
I thought they'd been liquidated.
They ought to have been. Traitors.
I remember their trial. They confessed to being in Eurasia during Hate Week last year, didn't they?
That's why the war went badly for a few months afterwards. They were able to disclose a lot of secret information.
What are they doing at Liberty?
VB granted them a pardon.
You remember? We freed 25 prisoners in honor of the Mediterranean victory. Only BB could make a gesture like that.
I imagine they've spent some time at the Ministry of Love.
Oh, yes. That's why they're here. They're cured. Better not show so much interest.
2 gins.
Those are gin, huh?
Thanks. Maybe we shouldn't have stopped here.
Why?
I get pretty uneasy when I'm near people who aren't healthy, if you know what I mean. Oh, well. Long live BB.
Long live BB.
BB Netanyahu? There she is.
Anything wrong?
No.
Coffee, please.
Wait,
Look at that girl as they
they're
were
drinking
scared.
gin. She wants coffee.
I dislike her.
I don't know her.
Yes, she works in the Ministry of Truth in the fiction department.
Hey, me too.
They turn out books for the people.
But you've never spoken to her.
No, she watches me.
That needn't bother you. I mean, even if she's a member of the Thought Police, you've got nothing to worry about.
That's right.
Something coming through.
Here is an important bulletin from the Ministry of Love. Tonight, Big Brother ordered the re-arrest of the arch traitors Jones and Rutherford.
Didn't even look lost. Well, that was douchebag move right there. Fucking Gestapo. Now keep in mind, I think these two are actually they're war vets. So if you go look at the DHS memo that came out in 2009, this could possibly be me in the future. Well, not these guys, but the ones that are about to be executed.
Once a traitor, always a traitor. Would you like another gin?
No, thank you.
What's the matter? Don't you feel well?
I have a headache. I think I'll skip the community center tonight.
It's just weird seeing Donald Pleasance walking around without a cane.
This week, the number of entrants in the Big Brother Victory Lottery has exceeded all previous records. And after deducting the usual percentage for the Bombed Areas Fund, the proceeds to be distributed as prizes are the greatest since the inception of this lottery. Here are the results, as they were drawn by the hand of Big Brother himself from the millions of numbers. The first prize, higher than ever before, goes to 634921. The second prize, also larger than in any previous week, goes to number 813462.
When I see this lady, it reminds me of Indiana Jones, and I believe it's The Last Crusade. The fucking German Nazi girl. You there?
Good evening. Good evening. Remember me? You're the gentleman that bought that old diary.
Oh.
Yes. I was just passing by. I looked in. I was wondering if you might have anything else.
Wait. no, nothing against Ryan, but totally thought changing a tire was something every man knew how to do. Yeah.
Else in which I'd be interested.
All right,
Mind if
Phoenix.
I
Have a
look
good
around?
day.
Not at all.
What is this?
Oh, that coral, that is. That probably came from the Indian Ocean. Look. They used to embed it in glass like that. Oh, it must be 100 years old, or more.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is a beautiful thing. It's not beauty as we understand it today, of course. It serves no useful purpose.
I didn't
But
see
then-
it shining.
I'm an old man.
How much is it?
$2.
I could let you have it for 15 shillings.
Have you change?
Shillings?
Thank you. Oh, there's another room upstairs. There's not much in it, just a few pieces. Perhaps you would care to see it.
Yes, I'd like to.
I'll lead the way.
I like he's got an oil lantern,
We
right?
lived
Walking
here until
around.
my wife died.
He's got electricity there.
I'm selling off the furniture little by little.
There's no telescreen here.
Of course not. It's a people's area.
I know, but it seems strange. That's an interesting picture.
It was a church. Do you know that word?
Yes, there were still churches when I was a child. You must have been a grown man before I was born. You can remember what it was like in the days before the revolution.
Yes.
You can remember the oppression and the injustice and the
Yes.
poverty back in the 50s.
Vaguely.
I'm keeping you from your other customers.
Yes. Well, you have a look around. Oh,
Don't steal anything.
excuse me. Good evening.
Good evening.
I saw some things in the window and wanted to have a closer look.
Anything in particular?
No. You seem to have some interesting things.
I doubt if I have anything of interest to a young lady like yourself.
I see. Do you have many customers?
Alas, no. The antique business is just about finished.
Do many
You know why she
out-of-party
came in
members
there
come?
at night and she's really secretive? I bet you she was there to find Captain Dildo.
Why should they? Ah, there you are. Your change.
Thank you.
Your paperweight.
You there.
Who are you?
6748 Smith W.
Where do you work?
In the Ministry of Truth.
Which department?
The Records Department.
What is your business in the people's area?
I had a headache. I thought if I got a little air.
When did you leave work?
1800 hours.
It's now 2200. Report tomorrow morning at 800 hours to court administration.
fuck? When's Jeff going live next? The entire chat's banned.
6748 Smith W.
You took a rather long walk last night.
Yes.
Did it help your headache?
I don't have one this morning. Have you been working too hard? I don't think so.
You find your job at the records department too exacting?
No.
What do you do, Smith?
I revise history.
Oh.
That's an unfortunate way of putting it. What you actually do is to rectify speeches and wrongly reported incidents, isn't it?
Wait. What was his job? To rewrite history? No way. Sorry, guys. I know you guys want to watch.
Revise history.
That's an unfortunate way of putting it. What you actually do is to rectify speeches and wrongly reported incidents, isn't it?
Yes.
Shows how great the need is for establishing newspeak as the official language as soon as possible. When the new dictionary is issued, there'll be less danger of calling things by their wrong names.
Oh?
Did you visit any of the shops in the people's area last night?
No.
Did you speak to anyone?
No.
Did you see any other member of the outer party on your walk?
No.
You know the party disapproves of its members mixing with the people?
Yes.
Consider that unreasonable?
No.
6748, you're a member of a privileged class, expected to accept restrictions as well as privileges. I had hoped we might be able to deal with this matter here in your own ministry. But your explanations are inadequate.
Oh.
This report will be forwarded to the Ministry of Love for further action.
I think we can deal with it here.
You're warned to pay strict attention to the regulations in the future.
Dude, seemed pretty important.
You can return to your department.
Man, imagine me working in the Ministry of Truth.
Number 424B.
I don't have to work there because I am
6748
working
Smith
in
W.
Truth.
Reference Big Brother's Order Gazette, November 12, 1983. Since the Eurasian offensive has opened in South India, it is impossible that Big Brother predicted this front would remain quiet. Rewrite entire speech. Show that through our magnificent espionage system, Big Brother had prior knowledge of all the enemy's plans.
Packlanders Gazette, November 12th, 1983.
Signed 6127S. The following men have been found guilty of treason and no longer exist. Conrad Zarlinger, Gordon Prentice, Hal Cho. Delete all reference to them from the gazettes of January 2nd, 8th, and 26th.
Interesting. Kind of like what Hillary wants to do with
Gazette,
Trump.
January the 2nd, 8th, 26th. What have you got there, Smith?
This photograph was between the pages of the Gazette.
What photograph?
Jones and Rutherford. They confessed to aiding the underground and being in Eurasia during hate week. But here it says...
What are you talking about, Smith? I don't see any photograph.
Well, bye-bye, history.
No photograph of the traitors Jones and Rutherford exists, does it?
No.
The system is not perfect. Sometimes there are errors.
Attention, comrades. Take your places for the 2-minute hate.
2-minute hate. feel like the drama panels took the 2-minute daily hate thing to an extreme because now it's hours and hours and hours of entertainment.
Brothers, we are at war with the people of Eurasia, the vile and ruthless aggressors who have committed countless atrocities and who are guilty of every bestial crime a human being can commit. They have laid waste our land, destroyed our factories, looted our homes, massacred our children, and raped our women. They have tortured and killed the wounded and prisoners, contriving lingering and horrible deaths for those who fall into their hands. While our gallant forces are engaged in a life and death struggle, we face on the home front an enemy who is far more dangerous. One of our own people, the arch-traitor Cavanaugh. This is the man, the leader of the underground, who betrayed our glorious revolution and would betray Big Brother. The man whose agents sabotaged our glorious 9-year plan, who retards our progress and turns our military secrets to the enemy. Hang the criminal. He's trying to tell you that Big Brother has betrayed you into fighting a war against Eurasia that you can never hope to win. He says the Eurasians are good, kind people. They do not want war. They want peace. He actually begs you to make peace with your brothers of Eurasia.
Hate! 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 Hate!
Oh, you know what? 2 minutes of hate is actually pretty smart if you want to control your populace because, well, everybody's in a room, you're getting fed this propaganda, and then if you're not doing it and your buddy's next to you doing it and everyone else is doing it, you're like, well, fuck, maybe I should get with the program. Yeah, fuck that. I thought she was going to flash him.
Big Brother! 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 Big Brother!
Big Brother's kind of just like a picture. Oh no. Don't do it. Oh. Why is it the downfall of most men in situations like this is a woman? I mean, if he was just trying to get a piece of ass, I could understand that. But, yeah. Ooh, chow time.
The marriage committee gave us permission this morning. What did they choose for? Comrade Benden, the Victory Relations Department. Oh. Of course, politically, he's perfect. If our medical grades match, they're arranging a meeting next week.
Wait, what? God, that looks like a shitty life.
Oh, Smith, there's a seat here.
Fucking asshole. Cock-blocking faggot.
You haven't given me your contribution.
Which one is that?
The Hate Week.
Oh, just a minute.
We're making an all-out effort, going to put on a tremendous show. Now, who else hasn't paid? Oh, Syme here.
Already we've broken down the family as a unit and made it an extension of the thought police. 5 have trained children to put loyalty to the party first, without any consideration for their parents.
What time do you finish work?
1830. Our next step is the complete abolition of the old-fashioned conception of love between man and woman. This
Whoa.
energy must be diverted to
Where
the
shall we
welfare
meet?
of the party. The anti-sex
Victory
league is
Square,
very rich.
the monument.
Men and women will be conditioned
What time?
so that physical contact
1900
is
hours.
by a feeling of repulsion. Within 100 years from now, the sexual impulse will exist only as a symbol of duty towards the body.
In a few seconds, Eurasian prisoners will be passing through Victory Square. These are the evil men whose ruthless lust for power has threatened to destroy the civilized world. Evil men who preferred war, but already they are beginning to learn the mistake they have made as they encounter the might of Oceania. Glorious army is sweeping back the invading hordes of Eurasians. The figures of prisoners taken is the biggest since the war began. Now is your chance, comrades, to let them hear the voice of Oceania. There they are!
Are they marching in the Capitol? Weird when executions are like their main entertainment.
Can you hear me? Sunday afternoon. Go to South Meadow from Central Station. Cross the bridge and follow the river for a half a mile until you come to a fallen tree. Wait for me in the glade.
Oh, I can't
I'll get
remember
there
all
by
that.
another road. Can you remember that?
Ooh, I wonder if you got a show. Freeze!
Hello?
What's up, Yeti?
We're all right. There's no microphone here.
It takes a little while to realize you're not being overheard.
all watched. We can look at each other now and not be afraid.
We can say whatever we like to each other.
Do it.
We can even touch each other
Do it. For the cause.
if we want to.
All right.
You know, I don't even
They
know
did it
your
for the
name.
cause. Oh, no, they didn't.
Julia. And yours is Winston.
How'd you
Yeah,
know that?
1984.
But I want to find something out. I have ways. It took me ages to get that message to you.
I thought you were spying on me when you came into that shop.
You thought I was a good party member. Pure in word and deed.
That's why I was afraid of you. You know, I hated you and I wanted to kill you. It's what Big Brother's done to us all. Made us hate and fear each other. How did you know I wasn't a good party member?
Something in your face. Somehow I knew you'd be against them.
Good party. New. Hey.
It'll be safe here once or twice again. Then we'll have to go somewhere else.
Eventually they'll find us out.
I know a place.
I won't let you take that risk from me.
I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for myself. If you keep the big rules, it's safe to break the little ones.
She wants the D.
You've been here before, haven't you?
Yep.
Yes? Does that shock you?
No.
They're afraid of love. Because love makes a world they can't control. And it's a world worth taking risks for, isn't it?
Actually, if you think about it, love is a good way to take total control. Because some people do stupid shit for love. Like I mean, I'll go to the ends of the earth for my wife and kids, and my country. And it's not bad because the ends of the earth. Wait a minute. If the earth is round, what the fuck do they mean by the ends of the earth and back? Huh? Huh?
Yes. Yes.
Nope. Get down. All right. Don't listen to me.
It's more than 2 weeks since we have been able to meet, except for a few moments in a crowd or near a telescreen. There must be a message in the usual place tonight.
You thought criminal. Oh, wait, she's the one that says, "You there?" I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up.
Thought criminal.
Hello, Selena. I didn't hear you coming.
You weren't meant to. We're trained as spies to follow people silently.
Why were you following me?
We're told to follow anyone who behaves suspiciously.
What was suspicious about my behavior?
The rocks.
It's suspicious coming here.
I was working in my room on an article for Newspeak. A page blew out the window. I saw it flutter down here, and I came to try to find it.
I saw you pick up something.
I dropped my cigarettes, that's all. It's dark now. I'll have to look on my way to work tomorrow. Are you coming, Selena? Are you coming, Selena?
Yes, I'm coming.
Who leaves their little kid to walk around at night? Empty your pockets. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can't smoke inside.
It is now 22:30 hours. Power must be conserved for our victory effort. All lights will be extinguished.
Good night, comrades. Tomorrow your work for the party must be better than today. Remember, even in your sleep, Big Brother is watching you. Big Brother is watching you.
Guys missed the real switch signal.
How long did I sleep?
I don't know. I was dozing myself.
Bro,
Not to be leaving soon.
no lie though, like I wouldn't be wearing clothes. I'm just saying. I mean, smashing it up in the bell tower? Wow. Why are you wearing clothes?
I wonder if we dare come here again.
I think we're safe for another Sunday.
Then what do we do? Go on seeing each other every day without being able to speak. Passing on the streets and pretending not to recognize each other.
I know. If only there was somewhere where we need to be afraid all the time. Where we could be together longer.
Julia, there is somewhere. That old shop. There's a room above it where no one lives. And there's no telescreen. I believe I could rent that room.
The old man in the shop would have to know. Anytime he wanted, he could report us.
I don't think he would. I've talked with him. He's only interested in his antiques. Renting the room would give him a little money so he wouldn't have to sell all his treasures.
Oh, good.
You saw him yourself.
Sooner or later, we'll have to trust someone.
Famous last words.
Sooner or later, we'll have to trust someone.
You will have to trust someone.
I'm going to do it.
You there, in the bell tower.
Somehow they must have found out.
We shouldn't have stayed so long.
No use, it's too late.
Go on, up there. Quickly, go on.
He's doing research because he is the Ministry of Truth. Oh, that's gotta be noisy.
The room over the junk shop has become a world of our own, where for a time we can forget Big Brother. Another Sunday tomorrow. She said she would be there.
The young lady was very nice about it, but I think you'll find it more comfortable now. Oh, since you were both last here, I've managed to get you some pots and pans. And I took some of my old stuff downstairs. Oh, and everything in the kitchen works now. I'm afraid it's not as peaceful as you might like.
I like it. I don't hear much singing where I live.
Oh, we do in this district. Popular songs, of course. The party keeps us well supplied with those. Oh, this is perhaps the young lady now. Yes. Good afternoon.
Very good, very good.
Oh, well, I'll be leaving you now. Should you require anything, I'm just below.
Thank you.
Now get
You're late. What happened to you?
The anti-sex meeting went on forever. I thought those silly women would never stop talking. Then I had to pick up some things.
I was afraid something might keep you from getting here.
You worry too much. Look what I have.
Coffee. Real coffee.
Real sugar.
How did you manage it?
It's all inner party stuff. They have everything.
Yes, but where did you get it?
A friend.
A friend?
A girlfriend.
Oh.
What else do you have in there?
You'll see. I'll make some coffee.
They're playing house. And not like Dr. House, but house.
Julia? You hear that woman singing?
She's making coffee, bro.
I like that. I believe it's people like her who will one day overthrow Big Brother and all he stands for. Julia?
Just a minute.
She's naked? Oh, she's, okay. Yeah, I'll take the, I'll take the hit.
It's beautiful. You're beautiful. Look at you. Look at you. If only some of those bloodless females could see you now. See what a woman can really look like.
So, out my coffee. What are you doing, loser?
A rat. A rat! It's gone now.
Never seen you like
It's the one thing I really hate. The one thing I'm really afraid of.
I'll remember that.
When I was a child, where I lived, there were swarms of them. One day, my sister. Forget me. I didn't mean to upset you.
I'll make some coffee.
Yes.
Wait, I thought you were making coffee.
You help me?
Yeah, loosen one of the top buttons. These guys in the future are so,
Yes.
Did you feel this was watered?
I'm sorry.
Put the sugar in the bowl.
If only you didn't have to wear these again. I wish you could stay always as you are now.
in the
That would
kitchen
be
and
worth
barefoot.
fighting. Must be something we can do about it. If only I knew someone in the underground.
People who have anything to do with the underground don't live long.
There's a man at the Ministry of Truth called O'Connor.
He's a member of the Inner Party.
I think he's against them, too. Sooner or later, you've got to trust someone. You said so yourself.
But I didn't mean someone in the Inner Party. Someone who could have you vaporized by lifting his little finger.
I don't know. I think I could trust O'Connor.
The only people we can trust are ourselves.
Do you remember Jones and Rutherford? They were accused of being in Eurasia during Hate Week last year. Well, they weren't. They were right here, being honored by Big Brother. Some weeks ago, I found a newspaper photograph. O'Connor saw me with it.
And he didn't report you?
If he had, I wouldn't be here. There was a little scrap of evidence out of the past that they'd forgotten to destroy, and I had it right in my hand.
Darling, you can't fight them alone.
If there is an underground, if it isn't another of their inventions to keep people hysterical, I want to be part of it. One of these days, I'm going to let O'Connor know how I feel.
Oh, please.
Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid. I'll wait till he gives me some sort of signal.
Like
Something
that
that
signal?
lets me know.
Love issues details today of the full list of crimes confessed by the traitors Jones and Rutherford. These atrocious acts of treachery include the embezzlement of party funds, the murder of many trusted party members, immoral relations with women of the party, and collaboration with the leader of the underground, the arch-traitor, Calador.
Broken.
6748 Smith W.
Yes?
What's in the briefcase?
Work?
I brought some work home with me. I was about to write an article on the grammar of Newspeak.
Bring it to the screen and open it.
These are notes for the article.
All members of the records department have to report for late duty in an hour's time. Meanwhile, carry on with your work.
Thank you.
All organizations taking part in the Hate Week demonstration are preparing their programs with unprecedented enthusiasm. Never before in the history of Oceania have we been given so much cause for a show of concentrated hatred against the enemy. We continue now with our regular broadcast.
Down with Big Brother.
The exclusive employment of words sanctioned by the party will reduce the possibility of confusion and doublethink. Work is already progressing on the latest edition of the Newspeak Dictionary, which will replace all previous editions.
You seem to take a scholarly interest in the new dictionary, Smith.
Oh, hardly scholarly.
Have you seen any of the material we're using?
No, Syme told me about it.
Syme?
Yes, he works over...
Nope, never mind.
Syme no longer exists. The work has to be carried on, of course. It seems to me you're more equipped to do it than anyone else. I'd like you to look at that new material. Perhaps you can pick it up at my apartment. I'll give you the address. I'm usually in after 1900 hours. Come along as soon as you can.
I've reason to believe that you can be of great value to us.
But I tell you, it's the same handwriting.
You mean he just gave you his address and said he wanted to talk to you at his home? Things like that don't happen. It would be too dangerous.
He made some sort of excuse about the new dictionary.
You know, if you're wrong, it'll be the end of all this. Once they get hold of us, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that either one of us can do for the other. They can make us confess anything.
But they can't make us believe it. They can't get the sight of us.
Who knows what they can do?
Julia, I'm convinced O'Connor's a member of the underground. He's our one hope. I'm going through with this. I have to. But there's no need for you.
Whatever you're going to do, I'm coming with you.
You dumbass.
He has announced tonight that production figures for this year already exceed those of the corresponding date in 1983 by over 12%.
All right, Martin, you can bring them in now.
In certain categories, this increase is even greater. For example, hardware goods such as kitchen utensils are 17.5% higher than last year. Shoes show a staggering increase of 21%. Shoelaces, however, show only an increase of 5%. It is confidently predicted that this increased production will continue throughout this year. The Ministry of Plenty is confident that 1984 will demonstrate the complete success of Big Brother's 9-year plan.
To build back better.
You can turn it off?
A few members of the inner party have that privilege. Well?
Is that really off? We've come here because...
The dictionary.
Because you both believe there's a conspiracy, some kind of organization working against Big Brother.
Yes, we believe that you're involved in it. We want to join it and work for it.
That's all right. Martin is one of us.
One of us.
All right, Martin, bring the drinks over here.
One of who?
Might as well sit and talk in comfort. I think it's fitting we should begin by drinking a toast. It's wine. I'm afraid not much of it reaches the outer party. What shall we drink to? The triumph of Caledor? The confusion of the thought police?
Down with Big Brother.
Down with Big Brother. You can go now, Martin. But before you go, take a good look at these two comrades' faces. You'll be seeing them again.
Oh, wait.
In general terms, what are you prepared to do? You are, of course, prepared to give your lives.
Yes.
You're prepared to commit murder?
Yes.
Betray your country to a foreign power?
Oh.
Yes.
Are you prepared to separate and never see one another anymore?
No.
Oh, now she answers.
No.
You did well to tell me. Of course, you realize that you'll be fighting in the dark. You'll have nothing to sustain you except the idea. When you're caught, you will get no help. Later, I will send you a book which will teach you the nature of the society we live in and the strategy we shall use to destroy it. But you get no information about your own organization. When you receive orders, they will have come from me. I assume that you have some kind of hiding place.
Yes, a room over a junk shop. We go there Sundays when we can.
That briefcase, do you always carry it?
As a rule, yes.
Every day during hate week, carry it empty. Well, now I'm afraid it's time for you to go. Even we are not allowed to turn that off as long as we would want. I used to be afraid there was no underground. Perhaps the party invented us.
Interesting.
Oh, and Smith, if I were you, I would destroy that diary.
Yes, no, you're first. You're very, very, very the first.
Brother, comrades, Big Brother is always merciful. He stands ever ready to welcome back to his loving protection those who have seen the error of their ways. Only one sin is unforgivable, the sin of treason. Tonight, the traitors Rutherford and Jones will speak to you themselves before they're taken away to the death they so richly deserve.
Wolf's not throwing shit at anyone.
Come to see the error in their ways, tell you for themselves the grave crimes they have committed in thought, word, and deed. Hear them for yourselves.
Fuck you. Might as well go out like a G if you know you're gonna die.
I am here tonight to tell you of the grave crimes which I have committed in thought, word, and deed, for which I am now truly penitent. I betrayed my country to our enemy, the Eurasians. I conspired with the arch-traitor Calador.
Excuse me, comrades. I think you've taken the wrong briefcase.
Oh shit, my bad.
With the arch-traitor Calador to overthrow Big Brother.
Baby fever.
Darling. I've got it. Calador's book. Somebody stopped me in the square last night and gave me this briefcase. Look how like my own it is. Shows you how well organized the underground is. Now, listen.
Almost as if there's a ton of
them.
that.
There may not be another chance for weeks. There's going to be a rush at the records office. You know how it is during hate week. Speeches are full of mistakes, and we've got to put them right. Now, listen. Calador says the aim of the ruling class is to stay where it is. The aim of the middle class is to overthrow the ruling class. And the aim of the lower class is to create a society in which all classes are equal. Big Brother has so organized the inner party that there is no danger of the ruling class being deposed. Darling, aren't you listening?
No.
I'd like to have had a child.
Oh, told you, baby fever.
I know. So that's why this is so important.
It's just words.
No, Julia, this can make everything we want possible. Don't you want to understand what we're fighting for?
I found that out already. Here in this room.
We've got to fight to keep this happening.
I know. But it won't be Calador's book or any underground.
What then?
Don't you see this? There must be others in love like us who will rebel. Can't stop that.
That's the real hope for the future.
I wonder if it could happen in our lifetime.
Yeah. No.
Maybe. But the important thing is that there's hope for the world.
All I know is when we're together, it's wonderful to be alive.
Uh-oh.
You are the dead.
The mirror. It must be a telescreen.
Can't be.
Uh-oh. Well, fuck.
They're all around the house. Don't resist.
No, by all means.
Stand in the middle of the room. Stand back to back.
Now do the Macarena.
Don't touch each other.
Shut the fuck up. We have to. We're back to back.
Put your hands over your head.
Never mind. Idiot.
I think I warned you it wouldn't be as peaceful here as you could like. Nothing is ever hidden from the thought police.
Nothing.
Take them away.
Smith, uncover your face.
For what?
Betray your country to a foreign power? Yes. And prepare to separate and never see one another anymore? No.
Julia! Silence! Julia! Silence, Smith!
Everything's recorded. You know what's funny? When you hear started thinking about like the Patriot Act and the FISA courts, because they're basically listening and spying on everybody through everything, to include your cell phones.
A woman's arrested. What happens to her? Where do they take the women?
Bitch. Oh wait, that's your buddy.
Parsons. They won't hang me, will they? They'll know my record. Why have they arrested you? There I was, trying to do my bit, never knowing I had any that stuff in my mind. Oh. You know what they heard me say? Down with the brother. I said that in my sleep. Said it over and over again.
Dreaming.
I'm glad they got me before it went any further. You know what I'm going to say when I go out before the tribunal? Thank you. I'm going to say thank you for saving me before it's too late.
Who denounced you?
My little girl.
She heard what I was saying. I don't bear her any grudge for it. Shows I brought her up in the right spirit and way.
Why are they being so fucking loud?
Room 101.
I told you everything. What else do you want to know? There's nothing I won't confess to. Nothing.
Nothing! Right.
Compares to you.
What's room 101? They wouldn't hang me, would they? You're going off the track just once.
What's room 101?
Sucker.
Take his badge. Don't be in too much of a hurry to find out about room 101. You'll find out in good time. What have you done with Julia? She betrayed you, Winston. You tortured her. I've watched over you for a long time. Now I'm going to help you. First, there are some preliminaries to be gone through, but after that, you will be brought to me and we will talk. So the time has come, Winston.
Well, at least he's giving him a cigarette.
Do you know where you are, Winston? The Ministry of Love. Do you know how long you've been here?
About a day.
Days. Weeks. Months. It must be months. Do you know why we bring people to this place? Yes. Make them confess. You don't really believe that? No, I suppose I don't. To punish them? No. We bring them here to cure them, to make them sane. Nobody that we bring here ever leaves our hands uncured. Why don't you kill me? The first thing you must understand about this place, Winston, is that there are no martyrdoms. We've read of the religious persecutions of the past. They were failures. They set out to eradicate heresies, and they ended by perpetuating them. We do not make that mistake. We make them tell the truth. Why bother with me? You are a flaw in the pattern, Winston. You are a stain which has to be wiped out. When finally you confess to us, it must be of your own free will. We do not destroy the heretic, we convert him. We capture his inner mind. We reshape him. We burn all evil out of him. We bring him over to our side, not merely in appearance, but genuinely. Heart and soul. We make him one of ourselves. No one whom we bring to this place ever stands out against us. We will lead you, step by step, to the point from which there is no return.
It's like a conversion camp.
Never again will you be capable of love or friendship, or joy of life, or laughter, or courage, or curiosity, or integrity. You will be hollow. We will squeeze you empty, and then we will fill you with ourselves, with love of Big Brother.
I don't like the way that sounds.
Now, before we begin your cure, are there any questions you would like to ask?
Can I opt out?
Where is Julia? She's alive. Next question. Does Calidor exist? Does the underground exist?
That, Winston, you will never know. But that question, Winston, proves that you are mentally deranged. You have a defective memory. You are unable to remember real events, and you persuade yourself that you remember events which never happened. For example, do you remember receiving a book supposedly written by Calidor?
Yes.
From you.
Somebody gave it to me in Victory Square.
I'm quite sure that that book ever existed. I want the truth, Winston. Tell me what you think you remember.
I had the book. Take him away.
Let us take another delusion of yours. You believe you had in your hands a photograph of the traitors, Jones and Rutherford.
I did have it.
You believe it was some sort of documentary evidence proving their confessions were false. I remember telling you that the photograph did not exist.
It did exist. It does exist. It exists in my memory. I remember it. You remember it.
I do not remember it. There is a party directive dealing with the control of the past. Repeat it to me.
Who controls the past? Controls the future.
Ooh.
Controls the present.
Controls
the past.
And where do you suppose this past exists?
In records.
The party controls all records.
And in human memories.
The party controls all human memories.
The main reason why I'm glad I'm able to think for myself. Because they said, present erases the past. So this book predicted the future. So the future is erasing the past. Or the present's erasing the past so they can do it over again so that no one knows.
Memories. How can you control the memory? You haven't controlled mine.
On the contrary, you haven't controlled it. That is why you're here. You've been lacking in humility, in self-discipline. You must make an effort of the will, Winston, and rehabilitate your mind. Then you will be sane. But first, you must be humble. Do you remember writing in that diary of yours that freedom is the freedom to say that 2 plus 2 make 4?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding out?
4.
4. And if the state says not 4, but 5, how many? 4. Take him. Now how many fingers?
4. 4. What else can I say? 4.
.20.
0.20. 1, 2, out.
How many fingers, Winston?
4. 4.
.30.
0.30. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5. Anything you like. Let me stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, you got a headache, huh?
That's no use, Winston. You're lying. You still think there are 4.
How can I help seeing what's in front of my eyes? 2 and 2 are 4.
Sometimes. We've had all that out before. Sometimes they are 4, sometimes, if the state says so, they are 5.
Or sometimes it's...
How many fingers?
I thought it was 2 plus 2 equals 22.
I'm trying to see 5.
Which do you want? To persuade me that you see 5 or really to see them?
Really to see them.
Point 60.
Point 60.
Well, shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Again, how many fingers?
4.
I don't know.
What's up, Taco Cat?
5, 6. In all honesty, I don't know.
.10. Wait, that would be 1.
Better.
Damn it.
Now, Winston, without any persuasion. There are 5 fingers there. Do you see 5 fingers?
Yes.
Look at them. Did you ever read a book by Calidore?
No.
No such book ever existed, did it?
No.
You see how the mind can be controlled and washed clean. Even the traitors, Jones and Rutherford, in whose innocence you once believed, in the end we broke them down. When we had finished with them, there was nothing left in them except sorrow for what they had done and love of Big Brother. Stand up. Come over here. That's enough. It's a long time since you've seen yourself, Winston. Look.
What have you done to me?
Can you think of a single degradation that has not happened to you?
No.
I'm prepared to separate and never see one another anymore.
Uh-oh.
No.
Well.
Julia. I have not betrayed Julia. I have not betrayed Julia.
No. No, that is perfectly true. You have not betrayed Julia. Come with me, Winston. Winston, you were once curious about room 101. It's not one room, but many. This one, for instance. You're going to find out what lies beyond
room 101.
But to whet your curiosity, I will give you a hint. In room 101 is the worst thing in the world. Of course, that varies from individual to individual. It may be burial alive, or death by drowning, or by fire, or by impalement, or 50 other deaths. Which death do you fear most in all the world, Winston?
Uh-oh.
You needn't answer. You've already told me.
Yep.
A rat. A rat. It's gone now. That's the one thing I really hate. The one thing I'm really
Sammy?
afraid of. When I was a child, where I lived, there were swarms of them. One day, my sister.
Will you lead the way, Winston?
Using fear to break him into submission.
Not to me. Not to me. To Julia, not to me. I don't care what you do to her. Let her suffer. Not to me. To Julia. Not to me.
This is what society wants. Weak, broken men.
Now, Winston, you are wholly ours. You have been washed clean. You will be released tomorrow.
Attention. A later bulletin has just been issued by the Ministry of Peace. The southward advance of the Eurasian Army on the African front is still continuing. It is feared that unless a counterattack is launched immediately, the whole of Central Africa may fall to the invading hordes.
Oh, shit. So the Iranian president getting shot down. Interesting. So who's going to launch the counterattack? Because they're going to find it to where Israel did it, which more than likely they did. Or, Iran did it to themselves because maybe that president wasn't. Well, no, because the president wasn't well liked in that country. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway.
Immediately, the whole of Central Africa may fall
You
to
too,
the
Stammy
invading
Joe.
hordes.
Thank you.
A defeat in this area might well threaten the very heart of Oceania itself. In this grave crisis, the Ministry of Truth will continue to issue frequent bulletins.
Now, in case you guys don't know, catch that, the Oceania is North America and South America. This is the United. I don't know if it's still called the United States anymore. It's called Oceania. How do you remember her? Weird. Oh, she's broken.
I betrayed you.
I betrayed you.
Trust no one.
I threatened you with something. Something you can't bear to think about. You find yourself saying, Don't do it to me. Do it to someone else. Lady, you tell yourself. You just said it to make them stop. It's not true. The time when it happens, you mean it. All you care about is yourself.
All you care about is yourself.
Then you don't feel the same way about the other person any longer.
No. You don't feel the same any longer.
Uh-oh, 2 minutes of hate.
Attention, everybody. Attention. Here is the latest bulletin that's just been received from the front in Africa. News has just been received. The reverse maneuver planned by Big Brother and involving perfect coordination between the land and sea forces of Oceania has resulted in the utter rout of the Eurasian army in Africa. The enemy is completely demoralized and fleeing before our victorious troops.
Oh, good.
Long live Big Brother!
Come on, would you put it past the government to bomb its own people and say, hey, it was somebody else? Of course you wouldn't, because it's already happened. Here we go. So that's not really a, hold on, not far off from reality now, is it? We've seen it happening. We saw it coming. Some of us remember history because obviously Big Brother fucked up somewhere, or there's just something in the DNA that allows you to see it. War will never stop in the Middle East. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Wait, not the beginning of time. Maybe a little bit after. All right. But then again, I've said repeatedly, who knows? What is time real, or is time irrelevant? Because how do you actually track? Who decided? Okay. There's 24 hours in a day. Dude, what's an hour? Well, it's 60 minutes. Dude, what's a minute? It's 30 seconds. What's a second? I don't know. You're a fucking heretic. Just understand it. Sounds about right. But looking at that, and then the video I showed yesterday of the post reset, and it's not far off. I mean, you have to wake up. Not you have to. It's a monotonous life. You get up, you go to work, you eat the nasty slop from the chow hall, you go do some personal time, you get arrested because you want to, get your dick wet. Just fucking craziness, man. But, and if you don't conform, they have conversion camps. They'll cancel you. There's what ESG score. And, we're taking this to Rebel News. And Rebel News will explain a little bit more of what the Great Reset has in store and how it's happening in front of our eyes.
Structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city. Or should I say, our city.
Boy, the conspiracy theories are coming fast and furious these days. I can't keep up.
I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes.
What we're talking about here is kind of distrust of institutions.
In our city, we don't pay any rent because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. My living room is used for business meetings when I'm not there.
It's important that we look at what's happening right in front of us.
Shopping? I can't really remember what that is. For most of us, it has been turned into choosing things to use.
Now, the weird thing about that is that there's all this shoplifting, and the stores are like, fuck, man, we're losing money, but they have to stay in the community. And then when they fucking close because they're losing so much money, suddenly they're the bad guy, and the government's going to get involved saying, y'all have to give us this much of a warning. No, dude, if you're losing money, then it's kind of pointless. But the government wants to take control of that too. So they're forcing people to say and sell goods.
Sometimes I find this fun, and sometimes I just want the algorithm to do it for me. It knows my taste better than I do by now.
Control your soul's desire for freedom, it says.
Any effort to succeed at delivering on the Sustainable Development Goals.
My biggest concern is all the people who do not live in our city. Those we lost on the way. Those who decided that it became too much, all this technology. Those who felt obsolete and useless when robots and AI took over parts of our jobs. I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy. Nowhere I can go and not be registered. I know that somewhere, everything I do, think, and dream of is recorded.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's a phrase you've probably heard over the last couple of years, but what exactly does it mean? Where does it come from? And what exactly is it? In this docu-series, I'll walk through with you a plan, a vision, an idea that the mainstream media are calling a conspiracy theory.
This pandemic has provided an
I'm just going to say this now. I'm probably going to get a strike for this, not because of copyright, but because of the topic, because now I'm starting to remember why I lost another channel. But I don't give a fuck, because now I got Rumble too.
Opportunity for a reset.
It is called the Great Reset. Why are they so suspicious of institutions?
But as we try to build back from this global pandemic, Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
The global script.
And build it back better.
My plan to build back better.
This is an organisation that profits from famine and disease, known as the World Economic Forum.
With everything falling apart, we can reshape the world in ways we couldn't before. Ways that better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for a great reset.
This organisation pushes fear and tragedies to further its own agenda.
We know now that the next crisis is
I just realized
already waiting for us.
A good movie back in the 90s that kind of threw the hint of 1984 was Demolition Man.
It's a corner.
One that will dictate what you own, what you eat, what you think, under the guise of a sustainable future.
With climate change set to dwarf the damage caused by the pandemic, the message from 2020 should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead.
And when someone calls this a conspiracy theory, they don't realise that the information is right under their nose.
We want to be a very transparent organization.
In the year 2020, March to be exact, COVID-19 plagued our television screens, social media timelines, radios, and the newspapers. For the first time in a long time, or at least since the dawn of the climate scare, the entire human race was told that they were facing the same threat and was tasked to work together to put an end to it.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon. Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
And in the shadows, an organisation, or a cabal really, schemed to use this sudden global instability and public hysteria to
He didn't say
rewrite
that. Not at all. He said cable. Cable, okay? He didn't say the other word because that's a no-no word.
society.
Do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen.
To do away with the values and systems that underpin civilization. This plot is titled
Well, that's
The Great
part of what the World Economic Forum is all about, is population and crowd control in one world government, so they can pretty much, like they said, own nothing and be happy.
Great Reset. This idea, known as the Great Reset, was announced in 2014 and pledges to redefine the social construct between governments and individuals by creating a global, sustainable system through electronic identification, universal basic quality services, and the reconsideration of industries such as oil and gas, and even technology.
But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical.
Oh yeah, sure,
than
Zip.
just build digital
Give me
dictatorships.
about 2 hours and 2 minutes.
By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
The book, The Great Reset, outlines 5 pillars of civilization.
Oh hey, Zip, I'm gonna hit you up. Talk about that honey talk. I think it's a good idea.
That need to be reimagined for the desired world in the eyes of this one man, Klaus Schwab.
What can we do? The group is, we are just now looking
Oh,
what
good,
we can
good,
do
good.
for the Middle East.
Right,
The
have a good day.
situation is so
stay listening.
dangerous in the Middle East. Can Davos help to bring the parties again together, as we have done on many occasions in the past? Can we play a constructive role as an informal platform?
These include a technological reset, a societal reset, an economic reset.
We're gonna go over. I really don't. It's the introduction. The next one we're gonna go over is what he just said: technological reset, which is really weird.
An environmental reset, and a geopolitical reset.
You know, for all of the administration's belligerent approach towards China, it hasn't actually
China.
achieved very much. Whereas I think Biden would be less reckless, maybe more strategic, and would engage on issues of mutual concern like climate, and Biden would be better at building coalitions. Also, I think Biden would probably run a tighter ship. We get a sense, at least our bureau in China, that you get a sense that they're
Oh wait, this will
exhausted
be
and
your
actually
first
they're
harvest. Oh shit!
rooting for a reset.
The Great Reset is a global culture and economic cataclysm, birthed by Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. And you, well, you're supposed to go along with this really and not be allowed to question it.
Something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex in...
Now it's weird the fact that he was saying that, right? And that's how I think differently now. But exactly what he said. Let's go rewind it. No emotions, no fear, except. All right, wait. No emotions except for fear and rage. So, growing up, I pretty much had no emotions because, well, that's just the way I was taught. And then I joined the military, and definitely I was learning to get no emotions except for fear of dying, which I got out of that real quick after the first time. Not dying, getting shot at or blown up. And then rage. And what happens when shit I don't like happens? I rage. And you guys seen the explosions before, and I'm glad they're few and far between now. So yeah.
Rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen.
This man, Klaus Schwab, has served on the boards of the Daily Mail, Vontobel Holding, a private banking group, and served as a member of the Bilderberg Group, which is a conglomerate of the world's elite to discuss the consensus of a free market,
How you doing?
Western capitalism, and global interests.
I guess I have to hit you up too, because I'm starting to think a collab between the two of us is going to be possible.
In 1971, a particular organisation was born from not just Klaus Schwab, but was spearheaded by, in fact, 3 people. These 3 people at that given time were 3 of the most influential men of America. Henry Kissinger, who served as the United States Secretary of State and National Security Advisor under the presidential administration of Richard Nixon, and was one of the key influential figures in the Bilderberg Group.
Oh, there's your
Henry
Chinese.
Kissinger was also Klaus Schwab's mentor, where a CIA-funded course run by Henry at Harvard was where the birth of the World Economic Forum came from.
Yes, there was one course, one seminar of Henry Kissinger, which really opened my eyes. I wasn't accepted to the seminar, but I sat in. I think he let me in because I was German. And it was relatively shortly after the war. There were not too many Germans here. And this created a friendship which has endured until today. And Henry has been several times in Davos.
Next we have Herman Kahn, a founder of the Hudson Institute and military strategist, and was even called the real Dr. Strangelove. Herman at the time was the leading figure in thermonuclear strategic planning, where during the mid-50s would see Henry Kissinger and Herman Kahn cross paths. And finally we have John Galbraith, a Canadian-American economist and an intellectual at Harvard. In 1945, after the death of Roosevelt and the end of World War II, John was sent to London to create a division directorship of the United States Strategic Bombing Survey, where he was tasked with evaluating the overall economic effects of the wartime bombing. Later, going to Nagasaki and Hiroshima to evaluate the effects of the bombings. In 1958, Galbraith became the Paul M. Warburg Chair in Economics at Harvard. This is the same position that he would hold when he would first be introduced to a young Klaus Schwab. These 3 men are responsible for what is now known as the World Economic Forum.
We are in the midst of a crisis a transformation.
It's also funny. It was born out of fucking Harvard. Go to fucking figure. But we do have a lot of politicians right now that love to hang out in the World Economic Forum. Well, one that I really don't like, and it's Eye Patch McCain. Yeah, he's a big supporter of the World Economic Forum and war. So fuck that dude. And anyway, I don't know why I just had to bring up Dan Crenshaw. I mean, I'm not going to say his real name.
The world will be quite different when it comes out of the crisis. So we have two tasks. The first one is to help to manage the crisis, and second, to shape the post-crisis world.
In the year 1970, Klaus Schwab wrote a letter to the European Commission and asked for help in setting up a non-commercial think tank for European business leaders. The European Commission would then sponsor the event.
The Commission is a group of politicians, men and women, who meet every Wednesday in Brussels. We call them commissioners. Together they form the government of Europe, so to speak. They all have their own specific field of responsibilities and come from different countries.
Schwab then organised a 2-week business managerial conference, and in 1971, the first meeting of the World Economic Forum commenced, held in none other than Davos, Switzerland. Around 450 participants from 31 countries took part in Schwab's first European Management Symposium. The project was recorded as organised by Klaus Schwab and his secretary, Hilde Stahl, who, later the same year, would become Klaus Schwab's wife. One of the most influential groups that spurred on the creation of Klaus Schwab's symposium was a group known as the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome is a think tank of scientific minds and elites that mirrors the World Economic Forum in many ways.
The big reset is well on its way to happening, and I feel, like I said, a lot of people said, this election might just be the most important one in the world's history, because you've heard them say that, which is weird. Why would they say in the world's history when it's just an American president? Ever think about that? No, just me. All right.
We need to encourage civil society, media and political parties to embark on what I would call public education campaigns with
Or hear me out. Because now all these countries are getting Trump-like presidents and shit like that, right? So we get Trump. What if it's a reset, but in a different way that everybody's expecting, but it still happens? That would be crazy.
Human rights, and by all means of tolerance.
Aurelio Pecci, an Italian industrialist, Alexandra King, a British chemist and pioneer of the Sustainable Development Movement, and David Rockefeller, an American banker and philanthropist, whose family name is possibly the most notable, being one of the richest families to ever live. Among the Club of Rome's first accomplishments was a 1972 book entitled The Limits to Growth that heavily focused on global overpopulation, warning that if the world's consumption patterns and population growth continued at the same high rates of the time, the Earth would strike its limits within a century. It was soft eugenics conceived from the fear of overpopulation.
And I know what kind of world I want to live in. I don't want to live in a collapsing world. I don't want to live in a world, as Jürgen says, that's getting grayer and grayer. And it costs more and more and more to maintain even a decent standard of living.
The Club of Rome would later that year publish a report detailing an adaptive model for what is known as global governance that in their terms would divide the world into 10 interconnected economic and political regions.
Hunger Games!
In these years, the elites that are part of both the World Economic Forum and the Club of Rome have argued out in the open
that guy invented
for
the
the public
internet.
to see including notable figures such as Al Gore and Bill Gates, both at the World Economic Forum, have pitched on how a contraceptive pill is a key tool in the fight against climate change, where Al Gore says, and I quote, "Depressing the rate of child mortality, educating girls, empowering women, and making fertility management ubiquitously available is crucial to the future."
What about making men women? I mean, that's a good way to make sure people don't have kids. Or what if the women try to become men and then they get sterilized because they're like, fuck, man, now I can't have kids and I wanted kids. I'm like, well, you fucked up. And that's how they're doing that, is population control. And then the whole debate on abortion. So that's a whole nother story, and that's all government related. So, all right.
Shape of human civilization. Whilst Bill Gates says, and I quote, "If you get the health improved, you get the availability of contraceptives, then families will voluntarily choose to have less children." It is not a secret that both these organisations mirror each other with their agendas. Bear in mind as well that Bill Gates and Al Gore both have children. They mean they want other people to have fewer children. The World Economic Forum, with all of its influence, has even started their own schemes, one notable one being the Young Global Leaders Scheme.
Wait a second.
Their plan was to...
So they said 10 different political regions, right? New America. Showed you guys this the other day. This is New America. We are dedicated to renewing the promise of America by continuing the quest to realize our nation's highest ideals, honestly confronting the challenges caused by rapid technological and social change, and seizing the opportunity those changes create. Almost word for word what we just heard them say for the Great Reset. Huh. Interesting. Oh, yes, it's funded by Bill Gates and the U.S. State Department and a few other things.
To spread their radical ideology through organisations and governments around the world. And the worst thing about it is it's already in play.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets.
Notable names include Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, formerly known as Facebook, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, with Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, who also sits on the Board of Trustees for the WEF, infamously known for being the granddaughter of a Nazi collaborator. But her role in this and on the world stage doesn't end with sins of the father or grandfather. Freeland was directly involved in the crackdown on the Canadian truckers' protest, who demonstrated around the country, especially the convoy to Ottawa, Canada's capital. This was in protest of the COVID restrictions. Freeland greenlit a government response never before seen in the West, freezing bank accounts, removing insurances, even as far as blocking crypto transactions. But the crackdown didn't just end there. Canadians were beaten, arrested, held without bail, vehicles seized, and trampled.
Some just for
by
talking
horses.
about it.
More Canadian names include Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP, a radical left anti-oil party; Andrew Scheer, prior leader of the official opposition Conservative Party, should paint you a picture of just how opposing these people are.
It will be a young world. It will be a digital world. Now, who could represent such a world better than you, Prime Minister. To represent also a new, open Canada. I want to use this opportunity also to thank our
Trudeau does get away with a
Canadian
lot of shit.
constituency, which always has been a very loyal and very much engaged constituency here at the Forum. But now, I think with you, together with our constituents, Prime Minister, we can make sure that in the future we strengthen the cooperation even more.
The alumni from Europe include Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, Alexander De Croo, the Prime
President of France, right? His wife is a fucking pedophile. Legit.
Minister of Belgium, Sanna Marin, the Prime Minister of Finland. Surprising names from America such as Tulsi Gabbard, a critique of everything the Great Reset entails. But most interestingly, Ivanka Trump, daughter and senior advisor to the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
They predicted an overpopulation crisis in the 1960s, mass starvation in the 70s, and an end of oil in the 1990s. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country, or eradicate our liberty.
Dan Crenshaw, congressman from
Fuck
Texas. Peter Buttigieg,
Of course, we
the
know he's on
Secretary
it.
of Transportation in the United States. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, who imposed a ban on ministers attending the summit back in 2020.
He's also the same guy that could have helped end that conflict, quote unquote, in Ukraine, because they already had a peace deal, but he's like, nah, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. And then, well, that went to shit. What's up, Treach?
Where he said, "Our focus is on delivering for the people, not champagne with billionaires." He says that as Boris is still an active member of the WEF. Other key figures lurk within the WEF, including Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who continues to enact governmental tyranny upon the Kiwis. Cabinets that form policy, or offices that minister to our economy, aren't the only places this organisation has crept its way into worldwide. It's embedded in every aspect of our lives. The World Economic Forum hosts annual meetings since 1971. The richest and most influential names and faces gather in Davos, Switzerland.
Because the forum isn't just for those at the top. It's also about creating opportunities for anyone who wants to make the world a better place.
Every industry leader attends, and even certain individuals from the entertainment industry. Names like will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas, Pharrell, the famous American music producer and songwriter, Leonardo DiCaprio. And not only has he starred in many blockbuster movies produced in Hollywood, but has used his platform to echo climate alarmism.
If you do not believe in climate change, you do not believe in facts or in science or empirical truth.
I don't believe in any of that.
And therefore, in my humble opinion, should not be allowed to hold public office.
Bono from U2, the Irish rock band, who works hand in hand to reshape global sectors.
It's amoral. It requires our instruction. Capitalism has taken more people out of poverty than any other ism, but it is a wild beast, and if not tamed, it can chew up a lot of people.
Rajiv Shah, the president of the Rockefeller Foundation.
Any effort to succeed at delivering on the Sustainable Development Goals requires doing that in fragile states. The world does not have an effective approach to supporting fragile states in being successful, especially coming out of conflict or coming out of a disaster.
And Chad Hurley, the co-founder and CEO of YouTube.
No shit.
They're just hearing the message now that the internet is truly evolving into a platform for communication, and that they would be able to harness that energy to have their views and their messages expressed to the world.
The summits every year share a new theme. In 2009, it was shaping the post-crisis world. In 2017, was responsive and responsible leadership. In 2018, it was creating a shared future in a fractured world. And in 2020, the summit named The Great Reset was hosted alongside a particular royal family member, Prince Charles, which set off every alarm in the minds of those.
Did you see Prince Charles' new picture? They took it straight out of Ghostbusters too.
Who are paying attention.
And we build
King Charles.
Again, in a greener, more sustainable and more inclusive way.
Was COVID the Great Reset? And what lies in the future of our world? I hope to answer these questions for you during this series and give you the facts and knowledge in order to resist this creeping, radical globalism.
Now the shitty part is I don't really think they continued this series after the next one I'm about to show you, because this was about 2 years ago and I couldn't find the other ones, so maybe this guy got canceled or he had information on Hillary Clinton, which I hope not, because that would be terrible for him. So he's going to go into the technology of the Great Reset.
Bringing artificial fear and tragedies to further its own agenda.
We know now that the next crisis is already waiting for us around the corner.
This is an organisation that profits from famine and disease, known as the World Economic Forum. The book, The Great Reset, outlines 5 pillars of civilization that need to be reimagined for the desired world in the eyes of this one man, Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. Henry Kissinger was also Klaus Schwab's mentor, where a CIA-funded course
I don't know if they're going to get into this, but they never mentioned that Jewish guy's name. Huh. Almost like you can't say it. It's almost like George Soros.
By Henry at Harvard was where the birth of the World Economic Forum came from.
Yes, there was one seminar of Henry Kissinger.
It's embedded in every aspect of our lives. The World Economic Forum hosts annual meetings since 1971. The richest and most influential names and faces gather in Davos, Switzerland. What lies in the future of our world? I hope to answer these questions for you during this series and give you the facts and knowledge in order to resist this creeping, radical globalism.
When it was first published in 2016, the Fourth Industrial Revolution made the case that technology and digitization would...
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
Making the overused and often ill-used adage, this time is different. Simply put, major technology innovations are on the brink of fueling momentous change throughout the world. In the 4 short years since, technology progressed and moved impressively fast. AI is now all around us, from drones and voice recognition
And
to
this is
virtual...
where it makes me wonder about Elon and his Starlink. Because his satellites, quote unquote, are all out there with the Starlink. And it helps regions that don't typically have the internet, right? Weird. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Birds aren't real.
Assistance and translation software.
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Our mobile devices have become a permanent and integral part of our personal and professional lives, helping us on many different fronts, anticipations, our needs, listening to us and locating us, even when asked not to do so.
Klaus Schwab's vision of a great reset is not one single idea, but rather a series of different resets on both macro and micro scales. One of the major areas of society that has been shifted by the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Schwab, is the way humans use and interact with technology through what is called the technological reset.
In 2020 would be a perfect time because everybody was told to stay home and everybody was watching TV or the news on their computers and cell phones. And that was what everybody depended on because you couldn't talk to the real world because they shut it out.
Advanced technologies only previously imagined through science fiction, and which have the power to enlighten or enslave humanity on levels hard to even comprehend. The frightening thing about this is that it already exists, or it's in development.
So it reminds us in our preliminary thinking about this of issues of ownership over what you have in your body and the ways in which our bodies through this technology will extend to machinery, certainly, but also extend potentially to machines that exist outside the confines of our bodies.
As society becomes more immersed in technology through the Internet of Things, the rapid changes we are witnessing are commonly referred to as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a term popularized by Schwab in 2015. Innovations that were designed to make our lives easier, or as a means to switch off after a long day at work, have slowly been transformed into a way of keeping us depressed, distracted, and misinformed, or worse, used as a tool to eradicate our self-identity.
One of the things that I think is so essential to free and open societies is freedom of thought. And up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotion, we have to create a space that enables people to think freely, to think divergent thoughts, to think...
Well, maybe if it was thinking for you, anytime you posted something, anytime you reacted something, anytime you sent a text message or an email, it was learning how you, everything about you. Just think of predictive texting, especially when you're sending emails on Word, your cell phones. They have predictive texting for you now.
Creative thoughts, and in a society where people fear having those thoughts, the likelihood of being able to enjoy progress is significantly diminished.
While there is no doubt that the progress of technology has created an irreversible avenue of prosperity, success in health, communication, and expression, its uses can also be gatekept by unelected individuals and organizations.
It was originated here. So that was child, if I may say so. And we have many children.
These gatekeepers then have the ability to hinder or enhance the introduction of new technologies, controlling not only when and what is released to the public, but also where and how we consume content, including news, information, and entertainment.
Prime Minister Trudeau said we penetrate the cabinets. Half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
As we consume increasing amounts and various sources of information online and around us, we need to continue to be attentive to source. We need to continue to be attentive to comparing various reports and looking for trusted sources.
And when you see those messages, remember that unless you hear...
But who decides what a trusted source is? Because you could think about it. If I was a super Democrat, I'd be like, CNN is gold. CNN, Joy Reid, Dr. Rashid something rather, The View, or, forgot where I was really going with that. Yep. Fox News, right? But then Fox News ends up becoming bullshit, and people still think it's a good conservative news network. I mean, it's not.
Hear it from us, it is not the truth.
The World Economic Forum has been the catalyst for not just technological advancement, but the reformation of how this sort of technology is used in our lives. Through programs it runs for individuals, along with partnerships, it consolidates with businesses and nations. The WEF plays an important role in shaping the future as we know it.
All these people get together and like, oh yeah, whatever we decide is what was best for the entire world. I mean, if you're in the top 10% of the world, yeah.
The merger between man and machine is on our horizon, and some would even say it's already in play. But what this means for humanity is entirely unclear. In the past, humans have used technology to improve our living conditions, from creating better ways of farming, manufacturing, traveling, and communicating. Our tools have largely been external devices outside of our bodies that are used to enhance the human experience.
I think it will back when cell phones first came out. Remember, like, it's gonna cause cancer. It's gonna cause cancer. And people didn't give a fuck, and they still kept using them. And now it's the thing. It's cool. They don't cause cancer anymore.
It will, first of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual, kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
Now, however, through the usage of technological implants, we are on the cusp of potentially redefining what it even means to be human.
Inside our own heads is
actually
the most complex...
the first patient for the Neuralink testing is put on hold right now, so still gonna have to wait, guys.
Arrangement of matter in the known universe.
You might ask yourself, can we get to be superhumans?
Elon Musk, the world's richest man and owner of numerous tech businesses, was listed in 2008 as one of the forum's young global leaders.
Today, our computers, phones, applications give us superhuman capability. So as the old maxim says, like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Through his many projects, Musk serves as a proponent in the development of several types of advanced technology, none more impactful on individual humans than Neuralink.
The chip is designed to read and write brain activity and could potentially aid patients with neurological diseases like Alzheimer's. Musk has referred to the device as a Fitbit in your skull, claiming it will one day give people telepathic powers.
Neuralink is a startup project spearheaded by Musk that is developing
telepathic, right? In a good way or a bad way? But what if I really kind of have that? Is there a chip in my brain already?
A cerebral implant, which would effectively allow a computer to become an extension of the human brain. While the initial goal of neurotechnology is to improve the lives of those suffering from ailments like epilepsy, Parkinson's, or Alzheimer's, it's easy to see how this technology could flow from limited medical use to widespread adoption by consumers. With technology like Neuralink, us humans could have the ability to operate our smartphones and computers with our minds. Ironically, Musk has warned in the past of where this type of technology could take humanity. Perhaps this is even what pushed him to try and create it first.
Because if one company or small group of people manages to develop godlike digital superintelligence, they could take over the world.
Born in South Africa in 1971, Musk moved to Canada at the age of 17, before moving again to California in 1995, where he would start his first business alongside his brother. After launching a second company, Musk's business eventually merged with another Silicon Valley-based company called Cofinity, eventually evolving into the widely popular digital currency transfer site PayPal. In the present day, PayPal has become a financial service provider that will deplatform individuals and companies that don't adhere to a particular narrative through a partnership with the Southern Poverty Law Center. And obviously, PayPal's current business practices are out of Musk's control. But where things become odd is with Musk's grandfather, Joshua Haldeman. Haldeman was a member of an organization called Technocracy Incorporated. This organization was made up of scientists who believed that all politicians and businessmen needed to be outcasted from the world, deplatformed from their place in society, and replaced with engineers and other experts who would then create a technocratic utopia.
Now, if North America is where we start,
that just
how should
weird.
we start?
There would be no more nation states, no more money, and no more leaders, just the technocracy. And so, in the eyes of Technocracy Incorporated, the world would be unified under a new name, Technate.
Social change is due on this continent. Social change is coming whether you like it or not. Social change is coming whether you are prepared for it or not. And technocracy is the means by which you can prepare yourself so that you can decide whether you want science or chaos.
At the time, Musk's grandfather was even charged under the National Defense Act because this radical group was banned from the country. Now, a technocratic one-world government isn't something Elon Musk speaks about, especially when he talks about his vision for the Earth. But on the subject of Mars, it's a different story.
Trying to do good things and you're a
They're a dome.
I mean, yeah, that seems a little bit like either superhero or supervillain. You have to choose one.
Like Luthor.
Trying to do useful things.
This is an important point because although Musk is viewed as somewhat of a hero by people on all sides of the political spectrum, it's dangerous to universally trust a person in his position of power, especially given the influence from his grandfather.
What if Elon is Big Brother? Or will be?
My grandfather moved with all his kids and my mom and everyone to South Africa because he wanted to use it as a base of oxygen.
You fast forward to now, Musk is critical of the World Economic Forum, despite sharing an overwhelming majority of their views and visions. Because of this, we must ask ourselves, is it possible for an individual or group to radically change the world? The answer is simply yes, and Musk wields the power to do it. He could even be doing it right now as we speak.
You are, not to put too fine a point on it, the richest man in the history of the world and arguably the most influential. When you say take the red pill, do you worry about sending none too bad?
I said take both pills.
Take both? Well, that's okay. All right.
If we accept that someone like Musk can wield this sort of influence, is it then unreasonable to believe a group with more power and more influence could be orchestrating society along the same lines of what Musk's grandfather envisioned, especially when they say it themselves?
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
If there is just one thing that this is shared between people across the world, it is the reality of human existence. Although we may squabble over disagreements, the collective human experience is something that we all have in common and experience through our senses.
And humans really don't know themselves very well. This is why algorithms have a real chance of getting to know ourselves better. We don't really know ourselves.
But with technology advancing beyond computers and smartphones, even what we define as reality could now be on the verge. Even what we define as reality.
This kind of setup for my computer, I'd fucking take it. They're already watching me.
And smartphones. Even what we define as reality could now be on the verge of change.
Good two-way communication system, direct communication system between brains and computers, this is kind of the watershed moment. I mean, once you have a good two-way, nobody has any idea what happens after that.
In recent years, the World Economic Forum has turned its focus towards striving to replicate the human experience digitally.
Bro. No. Demolition Man again. And they said the new world, you won't have any need for intimacy, right? If you watch Demolition Man, they do have a scene where they're quote unquote having sex. And it's just like this. They both put on a fucking the head eyeball thingy, whatever. And it's like they're having sex. Holy shit. Fucking insane.
Perhaps no individual is at the frontier of this technology than one of the forum's young global leaders, Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, and welcome to Connect. Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has excelled in the virtual reality market. A new major initiative from Zuckerberg's company has been the creation of the metaverse, an ambitious undertaking that showcases new experiences in an all-digital environment. After Zuckerberg purchased Oculus, a company that specializes in virtual reality gaming, he planned to make an affordable headset that everyday consumers could have in their homes.
Be able to take your items and project them into the physical world as holograms and augmented reality too.
Although
you're going to get stuck in virtual reality and you'll be happy. Or whatever. It's like the Matrix. All right, now I'm just making shit up in my head and I sound really weird, crazy, conspiracy-like. Just odd.
Though this technology is still in its early stages of development,
They're telling
there
you
are already
movies.
around 60,000 people who spend hours each day escaping into this digital realm.
For the next week, I'm going to be eating, sleeping, working, and playing in virtual reality. Starting now.
Horizon Worlds, a free virtual reality video game created by Meta Platforms that runs on the Oculus headset, reportedly saw a 10-fold increase in users in 3 months after an ad aired during the Super Bowl, bringing its total user base to 300,000. Zuckerberg described the game as a core to our metaverse vision. While our society is a long way from fully transitioning from the real world to the digital world, global consulting firm McKinsey estimates that the metaverse could present a multi-trillion...
I can see why that, Mom. You know, being in prison, going in virtual reality to actually take you away from the fact that you're actually in prison. I got you.
...dollar business opportunity in the years ahead. It might surprise you to know that much like in the real world, plots of land can be purchased in the metaverse, with prices ranging from a few thousand to more than $2 million.
COVID-19 has irrevocably changed our world. So many of us had to learn how to live differently, to learn how to work, socialize, shop, and collaborate differently. And we are doing all of this online.
But VR isn't the only way to experience an altered reality. A similar scenario is well on its way through another type of technology known as augmented reality. The WEF states that 3.7 billion people are offline, most of whom live in undeveloped countries that don't have the means to connect themselves to the rest of the world. Making VR and AR accepted into the mainstream would, in the World Economic Forum's vision, be the best way to provide, and I quote, technology for sectors such as education, mining, and tourism, all of which were effectively shut down during the current COVID-19 pandemic. These digital realities are in fact mainstream in Western culture, yet not quite as prevalent as the WEF would like. While most people use augmented reality for gaming, which in many cases is just harmless interactive fun,
that's what I thought.
the WEF is looking to bring this technology into our schools, or rather, bring our schools to us.
I think any of this going in, and then when I saw it, everything was really nice, and it was actually such a good experience to see this. It's actually so real.
Right, you want to look to your right a little bit, to your right, slowly, up to your right, more to your right.
Oh, it's actually a ship.
Yeah.
Bringing artificial intelligence into education, which could then work in tandem with other advanced data collection techniques enables not only our mannerisms to be analysed, but also can allow an individual or organisation to dissect almost every aspect of how we function, starting right from our youngest years.
The World Economic Forum develops a joint action plan together with the ITU, the World Bank, GSMA, and our industry partners. It highlights key immediate actions for private-public collaboration to ensure that digital connectivity is available and expanded to those who need it most.
Consider the implications of our own data being harvested right from when we can barely walk and talk, all the way through our formative years and into our early adulthood.
This has already been shared with 170 countries and is in active use. This fast-track partnership is deeply encouraging. A number of our partners have highlighted that we have made more progress in the last 4 months than in the last 10 years.
In the case of the Great Reset, a broad expansion into classrooms will allow major corporations and governments that partner with the WEF to shape our educational system.
Wait,
in conjunction with AI.
I'm gonna debunk that. I don't know if it's in your areas too, but my kids haven't seen textbooks in a few years. It's always been they give them laptops. Interesting.
To shape our educational system. In conjunction with AI monitoring every student who plugs in, the way virtual reality works, some parents may even have less of an idea of what is being taught to their children than they already do, while also being unaware of what information is being collected from their child's immersive experience and how this data is being used.
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're
all you motherfuckers.
But don't just take my word on potential harms of virtual reality in the classroom. Listen to the World Economic Forum say it themselves.
Keep in mind, this is 2 years old. Hey, what's up, Angela?
While augmenting our bodies with technology changes how we define humanity, and recreating the human experience digitally changes how we define reality, these advances raise new ethical questions surrounding the possibilities of exploitation.
You know, the customer is always right. In the end, corporations say customers have free will. But once corporations and governments have the ability to hack humans, then there is no longer free will.
Conspiracy theories surrounding the use of microchips as implants have been around for decades.
Read articles about putting a little chip in with the vaccine.
So when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We got to get scanned. All of you are practicing the devil's law.
We are not being injected with chips.
is what I want. We are not being injected with chips.
And the naysayers are right. Microchips don't need to be planted in a person to monitor and track them.
Imagine the applications of that compliance, basically biological chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet.
A chip in our brain or even under our skin, a technology that has existed since the late 90s, could allow access to our neurological pathways, making humans hackable.
Control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms.
You guys think that when they switched our debit cards and credit cards to the chip, you think that chip was a way of them to actually see what you're buying as opposed to a card swipe? No? Because it sounds like something they do.
Elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself.
Technology to access our brainwaves have been teased for years. From previously discussed Neuralink by Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg's version of a direct brain interface that strives to give us the ability to
I don't know
control
too much of the
digital
card swipe if it breaks it down. I mean, it could be wrong.
Devices with our mind. These developments aren't even limited to just modifying our brains, but also our vital organs. Like, for example, Bill Gates' contraceptive chip that received millions in funding back in 2014 and aims to use microchips to control fertility.
Oh no.
If we assume that the highest level of technological advancement that humanity can achieve.
No shit. There is chips in those. Huh.
Is altering what it even means to be human, or creating consciousness within our machines. This effectively amounts to humanity beginning to truly play God.
I mean, the big products of the coming century will not be shoes or clothes or cars or weapons. The big product of the 21st century are going to be bodies and minds. So I think we are heading towards the upgrading of Homo sapiens into gods.
Regardless of how you feel about religion, it is difficult to find a positive to humans. Flawed creatures that we are, flirting with the powers of the divine and potentially having the ability to gather our innermost thoughts, constantly monitor our behavior, or strip away the natural order of functioning organs.
Science is not really about truth, it's about power.
Meet Yuval Noah Harari.
So I'm a historian, but I'm a historian that defines history as the study not of the past, but as the study of change, which covers also the present and the future.
An author, historian, philosopher, and professor at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in Israel.
The most important things I'm working on right now is a children's book.
As an author, Harari has attracted some highly influential fans, including BBC radio host Simon Mayo, Captain American star Chris Evans, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, and the 44th US President Barack Obama. According to the World Economic Forum, Harari is an agenda contributor, serving as something of a historian turned prophet for the future the forum envisions.
Now, nuclear war and ecological collapse are already familiar threats. So let me spend some time explaining the less familiar threat posed by technological disruption.
While speaking at the forum's annual meeting, in 2018, Harari hosted a presentation titled, Will the Future Be Human?
data about what I buy or where I go, but data about what is happening inside my body and inside my brain. Until today, nobody had the necessary computing power and the necessary data to hack humanity.
Through his writing and speeches he delivers around the world, Harari has plainly laid out his views.
For the first time in history, it's possible to completely eliminate privacy. It was just never possible before, and it is possible now. Something fundamental has changed. When dictators always dreamt about completely eliminating privacy, monitoring everybody all the time and knowing everything you do, and not just everything you do, but even everything you think and everything you feel. They could never do it because it was technically impossible. Now it's possible.
One such opinion is that humanity is a post-truth species. Another is that for humanity is to be organized properly in society. Harari has suggested people need fictitious stories to bind us together, and that as species, humans prefer power to truth. From ancient and modern religions to fascist and democratic states, even down to Harry Potter books or Coca-Cola drinks, Harari believes that humans need mythical fabrications to unify us.
I think that fake news have been with us for thousands of years. Just think of the Bible.
But how can a society led by a small group of decision makers that is attempting to unite those under their influence with myths and falsehoods get even more people on board with their new vision?
We want to be a very transparent organization.
A quote from Harari gives some insight.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
You cannot organize masses of people effectively without relying on some mythology.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad.
If you stick to unalloyed reality, few people will follow you. In fact, false stories have an intrinsic advantage over the truth when it comes to uniting people.
The city may have to temporarily bury bodies on public land if they run out of morgue space.
If you want to gauge group loyalty, requiring people to believe an absurdity is a far better test than asking them to believe the truth.
To go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Do you remember when Madonna said that, maybe it was her or someone else that said that anybody that voted for, I think it was either Clinton or Biden, that should ever vote for one of them. If you vote for them, they'll give you, she was going to give everybody a blowjob that voted for them. That was kind of weird. I mean, it wouldn't put it past Madonna, but yep.
If all your neighbors believe the same outrageous tale, you can count on them to stand together in a time of crisis. If they are willing to believe only accredited facts, what does that prove?
Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people.
In addition to his writing, and outside of his involvement with the WEF, Harari is the co-founder of Sapienship, something defined as a social impact company, alongside his husband,
kind of like New America,
Yahav. As an organization, Sapienship says it focuses attention on technological disruption, ecological collapse, and global conflict.
Kind of like New
This
America.
venture uses methods like storytelling to bring to light key issues, like the book Unstoppable Us, a fictional story for children, accompanied by learning materials for partner schools worldwide. Besides children's books, Harari's company also specializes in education, developing high school and university programs in order to help young adults be fit for employment and to teach critical thinking regarding global issues.
It was important for me to write to children.
Sapienship also generously donates to organizations to help further their ideology, including, unsurprisingly, a $1 million donation to the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Fund, $300,000 to UNICEF Ukraine, and an undisclosed amount to sustainable investments. Although Sapienship doesn't specify how much money or which companies received their financial investments, the company is dedicated to innovations in animal-free products, including cultured meat and lab-grown milk. As an influential contributor at the World Economic Forum, Yuval Noah Harari knows there is a reluctance and skepticism from the public to adopt this highly digitized future.
Completely abandon organic stuff and create completely inorganic life forms. Whether this can be done or not is an open question. The biggest open question as yet, so far, in the life sciences, is the question of consciousness. We have no idea what consciousness is, what it does, how it emerges. The common assumption is that somehow the mind, consciousness, emerges from the brain, and if we hack the brain, and if we understand how billions of neurons create subjective experiences, then there should be no barrier for recreating these kinds of experiences based on silicon and not carbon, based on computers and not brains.
Another event at the WEF's 2018 annual meeting that Harari participated in was an interview-styled segment titled Questioning Our Human Future, where he infamously compared previous fascist governments to the upcoming technological reset.
I mean, previously in history, if you were on the wrong side of history, if you didn't understand what was happening and you lost the competition, then you ended up as some kind of serf or manual laborer being exploited by the people who understand and have the power. Now, if you're left behind, you're facing something far worse, which is to be completely irrelevant. They won't even need you as a serf or as a slave.
His disregard for those who aren't interested in being hacked or tracked raises the question, what type of humanity is he trying to save? And from what exactly?
Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds. The IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces.
Oh, they don't believe in God. They like to play
And at the same time, science may enable life. After being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. You know, the whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. The moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century. How exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms.
Man, fuck you.
The fourth industrial revolution, or in other words, the technological reset, has been in the works for decades, despite the term only being coined by Klaus Schwab in 2015. The players involved, whether directly or indirectly tied to the World Economic Forum, have a vital role in this realignment of life as we know it. Their predictions for the future of this world should be both a cause for concern and excitement. Society runs the risk of trading hard-won personal freedoms for high-tech entertainment and enhancement that can be turned against us.
The problem is more boredom and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games as a solution for more. It's already happening in under different
Look at more and more
titles,
kids
different-
getting put on these mental health medications, transgenderism, and they go to social media for what's the word? Confirmation.
headings, you see more and more people spending more and more time or solving their inner problems with drugs and computer games.
In this episode, we've met some of the big names involved in this venture to redesign and reimagine the world.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go check on Rumble if I can find the rest of those, because there's no way they only did 2 series 2 years ago. But it's just crazy, like when you think about, oh, they're gonna know how we think. We're gonna put chips in their heads. We're gonna, dude, everything's already there, like you said. And I believe vaccines might have a lot to do with it, and technology. But here I was thinking, like, maybe when it comes to the vaccines and people that got them, back in the day, that weren't, and it doesn't really affect them now. What if it caused some kind of mental trauma? Just like deprograms that. Think about it. Because it's something that, oh, fuck, it overloaded the system. How can we make this look like it was good? And you can't. You can't. I always thought Neuralink was a bad idea. I still think it's a bad idea. I think AI is a really bad idea. But as far as like the medical advancements with AI, I mean, I can deal with that. As long as it's just for, like diagnosing and treating shit. Not making people with brand new arms made of nanites. But like, look at that. They were telling you about it back in 1949, I believe, 48. The video I showed you that was obviously 2 years ago, of the COVID-19 Great Reset, post-apocalyptic reset. Not apocalyptic, but they forced all the people that they felt going to in the same class into the same living spaces, not camps, not reanimation, re-education camps. But it's just scary because now they're doing it legally, and our lawmakers voted for it, right? Cocksuckers. When it comes to their freedom, they're okay. When it comes to our freedom, survival of the fittest, which they're going to get rid of. They want everybody to be docile and submissive and beta. Well, fuck, where are they going to send people like me? Bring it. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, all good shows must come to an end, and I'm surprised I actually went over a 3-hour mark. Normally I get bored. So thank y'all for coming. I'm not telling y'all how to think. I'm just telling you to think. I know that might have been a whole lot of information to process, or it's just more of a refresher course. But have a good day. Have a good night. And I'll see you when I see you, I think. Peace.
All my friends are shadow banned.
All my friends are shadow banned. I can't even tag them in my story. We're all shadow banned. Evil people wanna take our glory. We're all shadow banned. We call out World Economic Forum. You ain't righteous, all your censorship is boring. All my friends are shadow banned. Still we got more famous than you weasels. Hollywood is filled with pedophiles and cheaters. They treat us like we're the Taliban. Just cause we love Jesus, flag and freedom. Swear they treat us better if we were illegal. I know the feds watching. You're welcome for the free entertainment. I know that China's plotting, but I still got love for all my Asians. I know some blood be clotting, and they tell you to blame the climate change and big pharma making profits. They can lie and never make a payment. No liability, their products killing me. They love anomaly out in the Philippines. Y'all can't get rid of me. This is my symphony. Simply put, you ain't getting no sympathy. All my friends are shadow banned. It's a mystery. They can't debate, so they gotta do censorship. I got the soul of Jefferson. It's effortless. Take control of everything. It's destiny. Yeah, they shadow ban you for big pharma. It's a cover up like cocoon larva. These left-wing doctors are depressed cause they can't handle that big karma. The Bible told you to trust your God, didn't listen. Now you got monkeypox, and if the kids got it in a rainbow household, then I think it's time to 911 the cops. Shadow banned, I can't even tag them in my story. We're all shadow banned. Evil people wanna take our glory. We're all shadow banned. We call out World Economic Forum. You ain't righteous, all your censorship is boring. All my friends are shadow banned. Still we got more famous than you weasels. Hollywood is filled with pedophiles and cheaters. They treat us like we're the Taliban. Just cause we love Jesus, flag and freedom. Swear they treat us better if we were illegal.
All my friends are shadow banned. It's like thinking freely is illegal. You can't say monkeypox is spreading cause the alphabet people, they bury opposing opinions. So the lie that they feed you don't get challenged. Isn't that how they all usher in evil? Why they ban Andrew Tate? Because he ain't liberal and gay. You probably think that means I agree with all that he say. I just understand in this culture being normal, I mean straight, just simply means you're a pest that they don't want in their way. That's why they shadow ban, promote wickedness while putting muzzles on the average man. Yeshua coming back, better hurry with your battle plans. When that time comes, you gon' be stuck like it's a traffic jam. Ban my song, but then I beat a deal. Look what happened, man. People can't tag you when they mention you. This what happens when you start telling the truth, they just censor you. GOP complicit too, but you think it's only liberals while we give billions to Ukraine so they can go digital.
All my friends are shadow banned. I can't even tag them in my story. We're all shadow banned. Evil people wanna take our glory. We're all shadow banned. We call out World Economic Forum. You ain't righteous, all your censorship is boring. All my friends are shadow banned. Still we got more famous than you weasels. Washington is filled with hypocrites and demons. They treat us like we're the Taliban. Just cause we love Jesus, flag and freedom. Swear they treat us better if we were illegal. I know the feds watching. You're welcome for the free entertainment. I know that China's plotting, but I still got love for all my Asians. I know some blood be clotting, and they tell you to blame the climate change. And I know them Dems are awful. Don't believe me?